Hi, I'm Jen from House One, and today I'm showing how I built freestanding storage cubbies for our entryway. With two little kids running around, our family has a lot of coats and shoes that pile up by the front door. So today I'm showing how I built a freestanding cabinet that has cubbies for storing coats, baskets for hats and gloves, and hideaway shoe storage underneath. Now this cabinet is fairly large, but the assembly is pretty easy. It's mainly constructed from 2 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood ripped down into the various parts. To get started, first print the cut list and diagram on thisoldhouse.com, and then cut 2 pieces of plywood to create the parts. Using a miter saw, cut the pieces to length. Next, prep the plywood pieces with pocket holes where noted on the cut list. To give the backing on this a little bit of visual detail, I'm going to be using my circular saw to rip shallow grooves in the board to create the look of shiplap. To do this, I set the blade of my saw to about 1/8 inch. I'm using a guide that attaches to my circular saw, but any straight edge will do. Next, I made the cuts, spacing them 4 inches apart. Now, if you're worried about the pressure of making those repeated cuts perfectly, know that I did mess up and put a groove in the wrong place. I just lined up my saw on the wrong line, and that happens. But luckily, since I'm painting this piece, I was able to fill it with wood filler and just sand it smooth. As a last bit of prep, I marked the outline of my baseboard on the legs and used a jigsaw to mark the back edge of each leg so that the cabinet will set flush against the wall. To assemble the parts of the base, I'll first attach the backrest between the outside legs, recessing it forward to make room for the baseboard. To position the backer, I clamped one of the interior dividers to an outside leg, with their front edges aligned to act as a spacer. I then repeated this process to attach the remaining outside leg. I then used the shelves as spacers to position the remaining legs with equal spacing, applying glue to their back edge, and then screwing through the backer board and into the leg. Once all the legs were installed, I inserted the shelves, adjusted their height, and secured them with pocket hole screws. Now it was time to install the bench top with glue and screws. In hindsight, I maybe should have installed the bench top before the shelves so it was easier to get to the pocket holes, but either way can work. I finished up by securing the bench top to the backer board. With the bench complete, it was now time to create the tall cubbies that would set on top. With the grooves facing down, I glued and screwed the first outside wall to its edge, making sure their bottom edges were flush. Next, I stood up the assembly to install the second outside wall, before laying the assembled parts down on their back. Now I could install the top shelf flush with the top edge of the backer board, and then use the vertical dividers to position the lower shelf, both with their pocket holes facing upward. To install the dividers, I drilled countersunk pilot holes through the shelves and then into the top and bottom edge of each divider, followed by screws. I repeated that process to install the center divider to create the 2 tall cubbies. Finally, I could stand the cabinet top upright, center the divider, and then screw through the backer and into the divider to securely hold it in place. It's now time to move on to creating the face frames. Now, typically you could just put the 1x on the front edge of each piece of plywood and nail it in place. But I find that over time, the joints between those pieces can open up and create cracking in your finish. So I like to secure mine with pocket hole screws and glue before installing them. To do this, I first laid the 1x2s in place to mark and cut their length, and then to mark the location of the joints. Next, I flipped the pieces and drilled pocket holes at each joint. Finally, I used glue and pocket hole screws to connect the boards. Once complete, I applied glue to the front edge of the plywood pieces, and then laid the face frames in place before securing them with nails. For the base, I just repeated this process, marking the location of the joints, flipping the pieces to secure the joints with glue and pocket hole screws, placing it onto the front edge of the plywood pieces, and then gluing and nailing it in place. I wanted to finish the exposed edges of the plywood on the bench seat, but I don't want to add any depth to the bench by capping it with another 1x. So I decided just to use an adhesive veneer. To do this, I laid the veneer banding onto the edge of the plywood and used an iron to heat up its adhesive backing. I then trimmed the ends with scissors and used a utility knife to trim the edges of the banding. To finish the top of the assembly, I plan to add crown molding, but because I bumped out the face frames, I needed to first add a filler strip using wood glue and nails. Next, I cut the crown with my miter saw, and then applied glue and nailed it into place. With both the top and bottom parts of this project complete, I applied a coat of primer, followed by 2 coats of paint to the entire assembly. Once dry, I moved it into the house in 2 parts, and then connected the top to the base with pothole screws driven through the dividers and the backer and into the bench. As a safety precaution, I also screwed through 2 cubbies in the top and in the base, and into the studs in my wall to ensure the heavy assembly would never tip. Lastly, I installed the hooks and added baskets to optimize our new entryway storage bench. We still can't believe the storage this bench added with such a small footprint. I hope you enjoyed this project. For more easy woodworking projects and tool tutorials, visit the House One channel on thisoldhouse.com. I'm Jenn Largesse. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.